Hi guys, welcome back to my amazing kitchen. And if you are new here, kindly join the amazing family by subscribing. In today's video, we are going to be making some Milo cake. I'm so excited to share this recipe with you because I actually created this recipe by mistake and it turned out to be so good. I thought it's wise to share it with the most amazing family I have on the internet. So let's get right into it. We need some nutmeg, salt, and some baking powder. We are going to need our Milo. I have here some sugar, some flour. I'm using cake flour, but you can use all-purpose flour. I have my eggs and my butter, which is at room temperature, so very soft. And I will leave all of them in the description box below. Add your baking powder, nutmeg, and salt to your flour. And then sieve your Milo into your flour. Milo has some chunky bits in it, so this step is very necessary. You don't want to skip this. So take your time and sieve out all the big chunks in the Milo, just like this. And this is what you are left with. You don't need to throw this away. You can put this back in the container and use it for your tea. It would be still good. With my whisk, I'm going to combine all of the dry ingredients together until they are well blended and then set it aside. In a separate bowl, I add my sugar and my butter, and as you can see, the butter is really soft, and this is how you want your butter to be. It is always very important to work with room temperature ingredients when baking any cake. I'm going to beat the sugar and the butter together until it becomes very light and fluffy, and you will realize that it will become pale in color. I then add my eggs one at a time and beat it in really well after each addition. You want to make sure that the egg you add is well incorporated before you add the next one. This cake batter is a very straightforward one and takes no time at all. Add your last egg and incorporate it really well, and then we move on to the next stage. Next, we are going to add half of our dry ingredients to our butter and egg mixture and mix it very well. When it is well mixed, we are going to add our milk and continue to beat that as well. Now add the rest of your dry ingredients and continue to mix until it is just mixed. You don't want to overmix your cake, so stop as soon as you realize that all the flour is incorporated. And then I add my vanilla extract and try to use the real one because it tastes better than the imitation one. And then I switch to my spatula and fold in the vanilla and scrape down the sides of the bowl as well. And your batter should be this thick. This is not a loose batter at all. And our batter is done. Before I transfer my cake batter to my tin, I'm going to grease it with some butter and some flour because I don't want my cake to stick to the bottom of the pan. This is very important, especially if you are using a defined cake tin like I am. So make sure to grease your pan very well. I then transferred the butter into a Ziploc bag and made a tip at the end, and I'm going to use it to spread the butter into my cake tin. Do you have to do this? Not really. I just find it easier to do it this way, but you can just use a spoon or a ladle to transfer the butter into your cake tin, and that will work fine as well. Now wet the back of a spoon and use it to smoothen out the surface of the cake like this, very clean. And tap it a few times to remove all the air bubbles and bake in a 180 preheated oven for about 30 to 35 minutes. Keep an eye on it because every oven is different. Whilst the cake is baking away, I'm going to make some white chocolate ganache with which I'm going to glaze the cake with. And so I'm going to chop up my chocolate into big chunks, put it in a bowl, a jug or glass, anything that you have. Now warm some heavy cream and pour it over the chocolate and let it sit for about 5 to 10 minutes. And after 10 minutes, I'm going to whisk it and it will be melted. Just look at this. Now I'm going to whisk it until the cream and the chocolates are well incorporated, and then add a splash of vanilla, just a splash. And I'm going to mix this and set it aside to cool completely and check on my cake. And our cake is beautifully baked. Mine baked for exactly 35 minutes. I'm going to allow it to rest in the pan for about 3 minutes and then transfer it onto my cooling rack. If you leave it in the baking tin for too long, it will sweat at the bottom and your cake will become soggy. So transfer it as soon as you can onto your cooling rack and allow it to cool completely. I'm going to set the cake aside to cool and check on our chocolate ganache. You can see that it has thickened slightly and it is now completely cooled. So we are going to glaze our cake as soon as it is cooled down. Before we glaze the cake, I'm going to sit it on a baking tray. You may use any bowl that you have. It is just to catch the excess of the glaze. And I'm going to pour the glaze all over it. Just look at how beautiful and gorgeous this is. It even looks like condensed milk. And just pour it over it and let it sit for a while. And I'm going to cut myself a slice for you to see the inside of the cake. It is not dry at all. It is super moist. Just look at this beauty. And it tastes so delicious. This cake is indeed a showstopper. Anybody that has had this cake before knows how good it really is. So I hope you try this simple and straightforward recipe and have yourself some delicious Milo cake at home. I know you are going to love this cake. This is really a must try. So until I come your way next time with another yummylicious recipe, please remember that cooking should always be fun and exciting. So try to cook each meal with love and see it radiate through the hearts of your family. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and see you in my next video. Bye.